There's been a lot of questions regarding how to wet distress. It's just like it says. What you're gonna do is paint your item. I got these candlesticks. They're a couple dollars at the Goodwill. I don't really care for the color. So what I'm gonna do is I want some of the detail to show. So I'm gonna paint them. And I have this one. I painted 2 coats on here just to give you an idea of the coverage that you can get with this paint. The color I'm using is linen. This is 2 coats. And what you want to do then, when it's still somewhat in its wet stage, you don't want to wait too long. I mean, you can wait a few hours or so, but till it's dry enough, I guess. Then you want to take, I just take a rag and I mist it. And then you're simply going to go over the raised areas that you want to have some of that detail showing through. You can sand it with a sand paper if you want, but sometimes this is just a little bit nicer for the fact that it doesn't scratch your item itself, because it's just a wet cloth going over it. And then you can highlight the areas you want highlighted and show some of that detail through. And I know there's questions regarding how well the paint covers and if you need primer, if it's a dark color. You don't need a primer with this paint. It has a primer, bonding agent in it. Whether you paint with a primer first or you just start going in with your whites, you're still going to use the same, you're still going to go through as much. It's either you're going to prime it all and then go back with how many coats of paint or how many coats of prime first. It's not going to make a difference. You can, to me, it's saving more steps just using the paint. The paint goes far, so it doesn't take that much. And I think that's where people get confused with it. You can just see how that kind of pops that detail out. And it's just that easy. So like I said, you can use sandpaper, but you take the chance of scratching your wood down more if you're using it on wood or just anything. So I do like to wet distress a lot. And then you don't get all the dust either from the paint and your item, your wood or whatever it is. You can see it's pretty fast to do this. Sometimes too with the wet distressing, you can get in more with your finger in the areas instead of worrying about the sandpaper. Let me just fold it upside down here. pour some more water you got on, it'll take a little bit more off, so you can kind of determine how much you want to take off. And there you go. And that's how easy it is to wet distress. You're just doing it before the paint gets really hard, cures. It's kind of still in a wet process. And like I said, you can take off as much as you want. You can certainly sand, but I just like this sometimes to wet distress it. So there you go. Hope that helps everybody out.